Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Folks, today's Monday, December 9th, 2024. Coming up on Roland Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. We are here live at the 2024 Operation Hope Global Hope Forums. And, of course, we'll be taking a live feed of the beginning of the conference. It started today, and so we will go live there in just a moment. Also, a big decision out of New York. A jury found a white former Marine not guilty of killing a black man on a subway. We'll be joined by the family's attorney to discuss what took place today in New York. Jay-Z gets hit with a sexual assault lawsuit. He fires back, says the lawyer representing this woman is trying to extort him. Also, South Carolina Congressman Jim Clyburn says that if President Biden chose to pardon Donald Trump, he would support that. I'm going to tell you why that is an awful, awful idea. That and more. It's time to bring the funk on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
Today in New York, a jury acquitted former Marine Daniel Penny of criminally negligent homicide in the death of Jordan Neely. That took place on a New York City subway last year. Penny also faced a more serious second-degree manslaughter charge, but Judge Maxwell Wiley dismissed that charge on Friday at the request of prosecutors after jurors twice told the court they could not come to a verdict on the count. After the not guilty verdict was read, there was applause in the courtroom. Neely's father, who was present for the verdict, was escorted out of the courtroom after an audible outburst of expletives. Joining me now is Dante Mills, an attorney representing Jordan Neely's family. Dante, glad to have you here in Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, this is obviously not the decision the Neely family wanted in this particular case. It had, in many ways, political and racial undertones, where you had many MAGA folks who were supportive of Daniel Penny, and then you had others who said this is an example of a white man killing a black man and getting away with murder after choking him for 5.5 minutes on a New York City subway.
Roland, thanks for having me on. And it was important for me to have this conversation with you. It may not be the best background. We're in motion. It's a lot going on today with the family, but I wanted to have this conversation with you to talk to our people and let us know that we have to be there for each other. I think this is proof, and this is proof that we can't rely on anyone else, right? We have to step up for ourselves. Jordan was in a lot of pain. He had some loneliness and issues that he was dealing with, and he wasn't heard in that moment on the train when he came on asking for food, and he wasn't heard in this courtroom where the jury said that Daniel Penny, who choked him to death, was not responsible for it. And it should be noted that we're not saying if Jordan came on making threats and Daniel Penny decided to act, we didn't question that. Where we questioned it is he choked him for over 6 minutes, where after 30 seconds, this entire incident was over. And after 2 minutes, 3 minutes, people are coming saying, let him go, right? You're going to kill him. It's over. I have his hands. You can let his neck go. And Daniel continued to hold his neck until he had no life in his body. And when he had no life in his body, he continued to hold his neck for another 52 seconds. That's what we're saying he should be held responsible for. And it doesn't matter who you are, white, black, homeless, have mental issues or dealing with mental trauma. No matter what it is and who you are valuable and you deserve to be heard and your life matters. And that's what we're advocating for, and we expect it from the jury.
Well, on that particular point there, that's what so many others said, that, detaining him is one thing, 30, 45 seconds, but for 5.5 minutes, that is a very, very long time. And when you say he did not, get his just due here, clearly the family has to be devastated that their loved one was killed as a result of this action, and Daniel Penny gets to walk free.
Devastating. I mean, it's a sadness, it's a hurt, it's a disappointment in the system that we thought would come through in this regard, but it didn't. But I'm telling you right now, our challenge, we need a call to action. Our call to action is for everyone out there to listen, right? When you see someone that's hungry, give them something to eat. If you see someone cold, maybe a coat, a blanket, ask someone, are they okay? That's what we need to do for each other, and that will prevent this situation from happening again. That's our call to action. We got to do something with this hurt that we continue to feel over and over again. This disappointment that we feel over and over again. My call to action to everyone is to stand up and be there for each other and make life a little bit easier. We all have problems, right? But just because you may be homeless or you may have a mental health issue or a crisis that you go through does not mean you don't have value. We need to see each other. We need to hear each other. We need to be there for each other. And that's how we can avoid these situations moving forward.
One of these right-wing radio hosts, Buck Sexton, put out what I consider to be a shameful, despicable tweet. He said, Daniel Penny not guilty, fantastic news, a just verdict, and a possible turning point for criminal justice in New York City. He says, but vigilance needed in the days ahead as the street mobs are unhappy. Stay frosty, New Yorkers. These are people who literally have no problem with street justice. And they applauded this. They said, oh, this is the right decision, things along those lines. You have individuals like this who they got no problem with seeing someone being attacked because they say, well, this person was threatening people, causing a disturbance. And so this sort of reminds me of Bernard Goetz, if you will, this vigilante action.
Well, what it does is it shows there's this sense of I'm more important than you. How dare you come into my space and make me uncomfortable? How dare you come into my space and raise your voice or cause a scene? That allows me to do whatever I want because I'm more important than you. And I reject that. I don't care about that notion. I don't think it's correct. I think we are all the same. And that's what has to be shown. And I was hoping would be shown with this verdict that Daniel Penny, Jordan Neely are the same because they are. But you get that sense that people think they are better. So how dare someone interrupt their life, even to come in starting out saying, I'm hungry. That's the first thing Jordan said when he got on that train. And never once did Daniel Penny offer him anything. He came from behind him when Jordan didn't touch anybody, put him in his chokehold, and choked him until he had no life in his body. And now he gets to walk away from that in a criminal sense. But we will hold him responsible in a civil sense. I'm telling you we will, because we can't let that happen.
So, the family is definitely proceeding with a civil lawsuit.
Absolutely. We filed that civil lawsuit last week, not immediately. We wanted the evidence to come out. We wanted to hear what their defense was going to be. Maybe there was a reason Daniel thought he had to choke him until he died. Once we saw all of that evidence and heard the people come into court saying, we told you to let him go. We said, let him go. You're going to kill him. And he continued to choke him anyway. That's when we filed that lawsuit, after all of that evidence came out. And we're absolutely certain. We saw a jury struggle with manslaughter, which means that Daniel Penny knew that he would kill Jordan if he continued that chokehold. We saw the jury struggle with that. They didn't know what to do. They were hung on that. That made it clear to us that in a civil case, where it's a lower burden, we can get that victory. And we want that family to feel that they are listened to, that they are heard, and that there's justice at the end of this, because that's what they deserve.
All right, Dante Mills, we surely appreciate you joining us here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Folks, the mother of Eric Garner and Jordan Neely's father spoke outside of the courthouse after the verdict. This is what they had to say.
I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged.
Here we stand once again in front of this unjust system. I stood here 10 years ago because they did not give justice to my son with the chokehold. I fought hard to get the anti-chokehold bill passed, which did pass. But it shouldn't only be for police officers, it should be for civilians also. No one deserves to be choked to death. And you know, we're in that courtroom and people are cheering for the verdict. They made the loudest noise, the judge did nothing. But when his father spoke out, they put him out the courtroom. Is that justice? Or what? We can't allow this to keep going on. We have to fight this system. That's what I had to do. I had to fight to get the little justice that I got. I got one police officer fired. There's more that need to be fired. But I tell this family, do not give up. Because that's what they want you to do. They want to discourage you. Just like they tried to discourage me. But 10 years later, I'm still fighting.
The Manhattan DA's office released this statement. They said, as with every case, we followed the facts and the evidence from beginning to end. A grand jury voted to indict, and the office carefully presented this case to a trial jury. Over the course of the trial, we introduced medical records, videos, body cam footage, and testimony from over 30 witnesses, including from the city's office of the chief medical examiner. The jury carefully deliberated for 4 days. They requested readbacks of testimony and asked for video footage to rewatch, as well as written definitions of the law. Their lengthy deliberation and the totality of the facts and the evidence underscored why this case was put in front of a jury of Mr. Penny's peers. The jury has now spoken. At the Manhattan DA's office, we deeply respect the jury process, and we respect their verdict. Unfortunately, over the duration of this trial, talented career prosecutors and their family members were besieged with hate and threats on social media, by phone, and over email. Simply put, this is unacceptable, and everyone, no matter your opinion on this case, should condemn it. These are prosecutors who have dedicated decades of their lives to public service and to the safety of Manhattan. I'm grateful to them, as well as to the NYPD, for their hard work and commitment on not only this matter, but for all they do on behalf of New Yorkers. I also want to thank Judge Wiley for presiding over this case. Finally, I want to thank members of the jury who took time out of their lives to diligently evaluate the evidence. Jordan's father, Andre Zachary, filed a civil lawsuit, as we said, against Penny for negligent contact assault battery that led to Neely's death. And so we will be following this up to see exactly what happens next. Folks, got to go to a break. We'll be right back right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Fanbase is a free-to-download, free-to-use, next-generation social media platform that allows anyone to have followers and subscribers on the same page. Fanbase was built through investment dollars from equity crowdfunding from the Jobs Act. People just like you help build Fanbase, and we're looking for more people to help build Fanbase. We are currently raising $17 million in a Regulation A crowdfund on StartEngine. We've already crossed $2.1 million, but we're looking to raise more capital from people just like you that deserve the opportunity to invest in early-stage startups without having to be accredited investors. So right now, I'd like you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase right now, today. And then use Fanbase to connect with friends, grow your audience, and be you without limits.
Now streaming on the Black Star Network.
I had been trying to get a record deal for a long time. You know, when I finally got signed to the Motown record label in 2003, I was 34, 35 years old. And up until that time, I had been trying to get record deals the traditional way. You know, you record your demo, you record your music, and you send it, you know, to the record labels, or maybe somebody, a friend of a friend, knows somebody that works for, you know, the record label. And really, chemistry that was my last-ditch effort at being in the music business.
How long have you been trying?
I've been trying since I was a teenager. Wow. And you know, and I'm grateful that it didn't. I'm grateful that it happened when it happened, because I wasn't prepared, you know, as a teenager to embrace all that comes with a career in the music industry.
Now that Roland Martin is willing to give me the blueprint, hey, Cyrus, I need to go to Tyler Perry and get another blueprint, because I need some green money. The only way I can do what I'm doing, I need to make some money. So you'll see me working with Roland. Matter of fact, it's the Roland Martin and Cheryl Underwood show. Well, should it be the Cheryl Underwood show and the Roland Martin show? Well, whatever show it's going to be, it's going to be good.
All right, folks, bring to my panel now Dr. Amakongo Dabinga, Senior Professorial Lecturer, School of International Service, American University, Dr. Nola Haynes, Georgetown University School of Foreign Service. Joining us out of D.C., Cameron Trimble, CEO, Hip Politics Media, former White House Senior Advisor. Glad to have all three of you here. Amakongo, when you look at this particular trial here, as I said to the attorney, you had political sides here. You had, frankly, white MAGA folks who were backing Daniel Penny. You saw even Phil Mickelson, the golfer, post a comment thanking Daniel Penny for his actions. This is a man who choked this homeless black man for 5.5 minutes, and these people are considering him to be some type of happy warrior who defended people when it didn't have to last that long.
And what I will say to that, really, Roland, is welcome back to the Trump era, right? Where we just see depravity and ignorance and no shame or regard for a human life that doesn't look like them. I'm very interested to see what this man is going to do now that he's set free. I know the civil charges are coming, but I mean, he's going to Fox commentator, you know, other types of jobs and the like. The fact that to hear Eric Garner's mother talking about the fact that, and the attorney mentioned it as well, the bursting, the applause. I mean, I think any one of us in this room right now, even if we had somebody in our family who was on trial for something like this, we would have enough dignity to know that on the other side is a life lost of another family member, and not to burst out into cheers and applause and to celebrate it like that. The aspect of like basic human dignity and kindness is gone. And this is being celebrated in places. I mean, I'm seeing everybody talk about that United Healthcare person who was shot and how, oh my gosh, I can't believe people are celebrating this. We are used to that in our community. We're used to seeing people get off, used to seeing people get, book deals and TV deals, and people celebrating them in every way, shape, or form. And we're going to see more of this now that we got this MAGA quote unquote leadership in our country. I'm so glad that you're here at what you're doing. I'm so glad the attorney came on to give voice to this family. And we need, and like Eric Garner's mom said, what are we going to do? Because just because they don't have dignity, just because they don't have basic respect for human decency, it doesn't mean that we can't demand it. And so we have to continue to uplift our stories and uplift our communities, because they're going to not only refuse to do it, but they're going to be callous and ignorant and disrespectful when they do choose to talk about it.
And really what this does, Noah, again, you have these people who are emboldened and they believe that this vigilante action, this is what should be happening. And don't be surprised if we see more of this.
We're definitely going to see more of this, Roland, unfortunately. Earlier today, I watched his father's words, and he just said how hurt he was over and over. And you just heard it. You just heard it in his voice, in his spirit. And here we are again. And here we are again in more of a hostile situation than we were in 2016. It's very clear to me that these people want civil war. It is very clear to me at this point. I was hesitant to go there before. I said that I needed more evidence. But I think we're at that point where Black people, we just want to live our lives. We genuinely just want to live our lives. But we keep over and over and over, the scab just keeps getting picked away, and trying to nudge us into a position that none of us want to be in. But these people want to fight. They want war.
Cameron, again, when you have the likes of Donald Trump and MAGA, they approve of this. And listen, whether it's a Black homeless man, whether it's migrants, their attitude is, guess what? You can attack them with impunity, and they should not be prosecuted as a result.
Roland, this has been one of the saddest cases, and just another, what I hope is not to come in a Trump presidency, that things like this can kind of go on under the radar. I'm glad we're putting a huge light on this, but the online vitriol around this and the polarization around this incident is actually kind of sickening. We've been tracking this case online for a while, and I think the real hope here is that justice is ultimately served. But it was just kind of heart-wrenching to be able to see the parents' reactions and to be able to see Eric Garner's mother there as well.
Well, again, I just firmly believe that we're going to see more of this, and it's going to be happening over and over and over again. So, Black people, prepare for a difficult 4 years. I'm telling you right now, prepare for a difficult 4 years. I cannot overestimate this. And I know among Congress there's people who are saying, well, listen, I'm not a crazy, deranged, homeless man attacking people, but I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump, who is a massive liar, has no problem at all approving of these things. And I'm telling you, these people, his supporters, they have no problem with these type of attacks. We had better be on guard over the next 4 years, and you can forget any type of assistance from a Trump-Vance Department of Justice.
Look, I ran into Darryl Jones today at Kunta Kinte Alex Haley Memorial celebration, and this is a brother with the Transformative Justice Coalition. He told me tomorrow he's going to Georgia to support the family of Ahmaud Arbery because they're bringing that original attorney up who let those killers and those murderers skate, and her trial is getting ready to start. So when you talk about it's just, oh, that guy was just a homeless guy, this could happen to anybody. Ahmaud Arbery just running through the neighborhood, and so we can go down